I finally did it. I was so scared when I started, but I now finished working on my first SaaS project for my first client ever. Here is what happened. A year ago, I graduated as a junior engineer in computer science. I've been applying for jobs ever since and I can't seem to find one. My sister called me one day and told me they were going to open a beauty center where they have like hair removal by laser, skin treatments, health coaching, and the wonders. I saw the opportunity for them to build, to have a booking system, to use a booking system. So I had just finished taking a React course for front-end development. I taught myself some .NET and C# for back-end development. So I pitched the idea to her that I could build you a booking system, plus your website. She liked the idea very much and I got to work. My first initial idea was just a front-end application where a user can go in and click on a date and that date gets booked, gets marked as booked. But that was a very bad idea because, there are different employees, different services, every service has a duration. You need to have a backend and the database and everything in between. I got to working and my sisters weren't the easiest client to work with because they were so busy, opening the center. They were like talking to different doctors, paperwork, engineers and stuff like that. They didn't have time for the booking system. So I had to work on something that was so generic can be used by any company. When that happened and I started developing this generic booking system, the idea came to me that this could be my SaaS project. This could be my business. I know how to build websites. I know, I was learning how to build a booking website, and I'm eventually gonna have to learn about the cloud because I didn't know anything about it. It went from being a very simple front-end application for testing purposes and a hobby project for my sisters to becoming this like SaaS project for my own business. I got to working. It was very difficult. Okay, I majored in embedded systems engineering. It's not web development or full stack development. Everything I was working with, I was self-taught about these subjects. So I was missing kind of a lot of information, and sometimes, a lot of the times I had problems that I didn't even know how to define, what to Google, what to ask, on the internet. But finally, long story short, I finished. I built the booking system, the front end, they were working together, everything is fine. Then came, time for me to deploy it to the cloud. Keep in mind that every problem that I had faced up to that point got me thinking, can I do this? And it was simple coding problems because I'm a junior engineer. It's not really my major and I don't know that much about the subject. I'm self-taught, I'm starting from scratch. Can I really build a fully functional booking system for a company that's gonna use it on a large scale? Can I do this? When it came to the cloud, I knew nothing about the cloud. I just knew that there's something called the cloud and that's where your server runs. And I honestly barely know what a server is. Anyways, I hit the brakes there. I was so scared of failing and that I couldn't figure it out that I hit the brakes. But then after a while, I started learning about the cloud. I told myself that I have to do this. It's for my own good. I worked this much on this project. Now it's time to do the real work, I started learning about the cloud, and with every single thing that came up and I learned about, there was 10 other things to learn about. How to upload your application to the cloud. But then what happens if you have a database in your application? And then came the HTTPS instead of HTTP when you have your custom domain. There was just so many different things from EC2, Elastic Beanstalk, RDS, Route 53, Certificate Manager. There were so many different pieces. I was so overwhelmed, but I've genuinely been working. Like I wake up, I work on it, I go to sleep. That's 10 to 12 hours a day, every day, to just try to deploy it to the cloud and understand what the cloud is. Finally, yesterday at like 10 p.m., I finished it. I finished working on it, I deployed it, I showed my sister, she was very happy with it. There was just some small adjustments that I will probably be working on. But yeah, other than that, it's fully functional, it's working, it's up and running, and yeah.